Good morning. Welcome to Spiritual Insights for Everyday Life. My name is Lee Woofenden. Today I'd like to talk to you about the end times because I believe we're actually in them right now, and in fact we've already missed most of it. Now, in the final book of the Bible, we have a beautiful vision of the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God. And according to Emanuel Swedenborg, this is what's taking place right now, that we are in the times of the beginning of the New Jerusalem era of humanity. And this is based on the idea that humanity has gone through various ages or cycles over the long time period in which we've lived on this earth. In the secular world, archaeologists talk about the Stone Age and the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. But in mythological and religious circles, it goes back earlier to a very beautiful, pristine, innocent early time called the Golden Age. And then it goes down to the Silver Age, and then it goes down to the Bronze and the Iron Age. So from a religious perspective, we started at a very high spiritual level, but then we went down and down and down until the time just before the coming of Jesus Christ. And the coming of Jesus Christ, who is God with us, turned things around and moved things back upward in a higher spiritual direction. So right today, according to Swedenborg, we're in the times when we're making the transition from the Christian era to the New Jerusalem era. And this is based on the idea that the Christian church replaced ancient Jewish or Israelite religion, and now this New Jerusalem era, which is also Christian but in a different way, is replacing the first Christian church. So we are now in the end times, and the Christian church is coming to its end, as it's existed for the past 2,000 years. And we can see this in the way that people are abandoning the church, and churches are closing, and they're getting fewer and fewer people to come to these regular services because that was the old paradigm, and now we're moving into a new paradigm. And to put it very briefly, the ancient Israelite paradigm or church was based on obedience to law. The law was given by Moses from God in the Ten Commandments and the other laws, and if you were a good Jew or Israelite of that time period, you didn't have to understand why the law was given, you just had to obey it. Now, in the Christian era, this moved a little higher to a position that's traditionally called faith. It's an internal acceptance of the truth and living by it on principle, which doesn't require, outward law. You still obey the law, but you do it from an inner sense of this is what's right and wrong, and I want to do what's right on principle because it's the right thing to do. And this was a step up from the old obedience-based model. And now today, if you look at the New Jerusalem, you'll see that the city and its streets were made of pure gold. And gold, of course, is the metal of love. So this New Jerusalem era that we are now beginning is a period that is driven by love. People do what they love. We're much more individualistic today in a sense, but really we gather together based on our common interests. People who love to sing get together and sing. People who love to play music or listen to music get together and play music. People who love to build things get together and build houses. People are drawn to different things based on their own inner feelings of what do I love, what do I enjoy, what are my goals. And so we've moved from a period of obedience before Christ to a period of truth or faith or understanding during the Christian era, and now we're moving into a period where everything is based on love. What do you love? And if you gather together with other people, it's going to be based on what you love, meaning on your common interests. So I believe that this is going to replace the old kind of church where people got together in churches based on their faith or their beliefs, and they had a traditional service with a preacher leading prayers and giving a sermon. I think some people will still go and hear sermons and lectures, but it'll be because they have a common interest in that topic, and so they'll gather together based on that common interest. And so I believe that the traditional institutional church, with its ordained ministry and priesthood and all of that, is going to give way to a new era, and is giving way to a new era in which we each follow our own inner love and we engage in activities with one another based on those common things that we love and those common interests. And that this will be the center of this New Jerusalem era, which is expected to continue forever for the rest of human history. And we're right at the beginning of it right now. And one more thing, when Jesus spoke about the sheep and the goats, he said that those who had done a good deed for their fellow human beings had done it for God. And so in this New Jerusalem era, I believe that the primary practice of religion will not be going to church and standing up and sitting down and hearing sermons, but it will be in our daily work. Whatever work we're doing, whether it's paid or volunteer for the benefit of other people, that's going to be where we primarily practice our religion. And when you think of it, that's what we spend much of our waking hours doing. So that's really good news, that the main thing that most of us spend most of our days doing is the way that we practice our religion. And it becomes religious when we do it not just because we're getting paid and we have to, but because we actually want to provide a service for our fellow human beings. We care about them and we want to do something good for them. And this, I believe, will be the worship of the New Jerusalem era. And really, for many people on earth today, it already is. So I hope you found this interesting. I'm happy to be talking to you again, and I wish you Godspeed on your spiritual journey.